Please allow me to share an urgent appeal to reconsider the trajectory of our current educational system. Part 1. The proper purpose of education. In considering the current state of modern education, we must first address its very purpose. Education should aim to develop the mind's capacity to think independently, discern facts from falsehoods, and make rational judgments about the world. It is about arming individuals with the intellectual tools to navigate life successfully, both personally and professionally. The traditional approach to learning, rooted in Western culture, was once focused on the mastery of essential subjects, such as mathematics, history, science, and language. These disciplines provided a solid foundation upon which young minds could build a coherent understanding of reality and the human condition. Sadly, today's educational landscape often strays from this path. Instead of celebrating the uniqueness of the individual and fostering a passion for learning, many institutions emphasize conformity and group identity. This shift has serious consequences for the future of our society and the potential for human progress. Part 2. The erosion of reason. The decline of reason in contemporary education is a matter of grave concern. One telling example is the shift in history classes, where the critical analysis of past events is often replaced by narratives that lack context. Students are left with a muddled perception of the world, unable to comprehend the causes and effects that have shaped human history. Another worrisome trend is the stifling of debate in favor of so-called safe spaces. Rather than teaching young minds to confront and refute opposing viewpoints with logic and evidence, schools are creating environments where certain ideas are deemed off-limits, leading to an intellectual stagnation that is antithetical to the very spirit of education. This shift has indeed resulted in a dumbing down of educational standards and a widespread inability to engage in critical thinking. Instead of encouraging students to question, challenge, and debate ideas, they are often coddled with their feelings prioritized over the pursuit of truth. This misguided approach not only undermines their ability to function effectively in the world, but also cripples their capacity to make sound, rational decisions that promote their own well-being and happiness. Part 3. The undermining of individualism. In the realm of modern education, the subversion of individualism is evident in the widespread promotion of collectivist ideals. Instead of celebrating the unique potential of each student, schools often emphasize group identity and social conformity. The notion of merit, once a cornerstone of academic success, is increasingly being eroded by a culture of entitlement and egalitarianism. This is not to say that equality of opportunity should be abandoned, but rather that it should be recognized that all individuals are not equal in ability or achievement. The current trend, however, is to penalize those who excel and reward mediocrity in the name of fairness. This not only harms the most capable students but also sends a dangerous message to society as a whole, that personal effort and excellence are secondary to group affiliation. The consequences of this shift are far-reaching. A generation raised to believe that their worth is tied to their identity, rather than their achievements, is ill-prepared to deal with the realities of life. Moreover, it fosters a sense of resentment and entitlement that is corrosive to both personal character and societal harmony. Part 4. The subversion of values. The modern education system has seen a disturbing shift in the values it imparts on students. The devaluation of reason, productivity, and personal responsibility has given way to an ethos of unearned self-esteem and entitlement. Self-esteem, once a byproduct of genuine achievement, has become an end in itself. Students are taught that their feelings are more important than their actions, leading to a disconnect between effort and reward. This false sense of worth is not only unearned but also leaves them ill-prepared for the inevitable challenges and failures that life will present. Moreover, the emphasis on group identity and collectivism encourages a tribal mentality, where loyalty to the group supersedes one's own judgment. This not only undermines the development of personal responsibility, but also fosters an environment where individual rights and freedoms are willingly sacrificed for the perceived good of the collective. This pervasive shift in values has far-reaching implications, not just for the students themselves, but for the future of our society. Without a strong foundation in reason, productivity, and personal accountability, the next generation will struggle to uphold the principles necessary for human flourishing. Part 5. The role of the teacher. The role of the teacher in modern education has undergone a significant transformation. Once the esteemed guardians and transmitters of knowledge, they are now often viewed as facilitators of self-discovery. This shift in perspective has led to a de-emphasis on academic rigor and personal accountability. Teachers are now expected to cater to the feelings and preferences of their students, often at the expense of imparting essential knowledge. This approach not only hinders a student's intellectual growth, but also fosters an unrealistic expectation of the world beyond the classroom, where effort and merit are the true currency of success. Furthermore, the increasing bureaucratization of education has led to a loss of autonomy for teachers. Caught in a web of regulations and standardized testing, they are often unable to exercise their professional judgment or employ innovative teaching methods. The result is a system that stifles creativity and rewards conformity, further exacerbating the problems plaguing modern education. Part 6. The path forward. The path forward for education is clear, though fraught with challenges. A return to reason, individualism, and a fact-based, merit-driven approach is essential. This means recentering the curriculum on the teaching of essential skills and knowledge, such as literacy, mathematics, science, and history. It also entails fostering a culture that rewards hard work, critical thinking, and intellectual honesty. Teachers must be empowered to do their jobs effectively, free from the stifling constraints of bureaucracy and political correctness. This will require not only a philosophical shift, but also a reevaluation of current educational policies and practices. Most importantly, students must be taught to value their own minds and to take responsibility for their learning. Only by instilling a love of knowledge and an appreciation for the power of reason can we hope to reverse the tide of mediocrity and set the stage for a new era of human progress. This is no small task, but the alternative is a future where irrationality, ignorance, and groupthink reign supreme. It is a battle worth fighting, for the stakes are nothing less than the future of our society and the well-being of generations to come. Part 7. Conclusion. In conclusion, the state of modern education is indeed troubling. However, it is not beyond repair. By recognizing the importance of reason, individualism, and personal responsibility, we can work towards a brighter future. Imagine a world where students are once again taught to think for themselves, where debate is encouraged, and where the pursuit of truth is the ultimate goal. A world where the unique potential of each individual is celebrated and nurtured, and where achievement is the result of one's own effort and merit. This is not a utopian dream, but a rational ideal worth striving for. As educators, parents, and citizens, it is our responsibility to demand better from our schools and to instill in our children the values that will enable them to live fulfilling, productive lives. The battle for the minds of the next generation is far from over. By returning to the principles that have served humanity well throughout history, we can ensure that the torch of reason and progress is passed on to future generations. It is a battle worth fighting, for it is the only path to a truly free and prosperous society. Thank you.